In today's Adrenalin Shot, I'm welcoming Greg Donlan from The Sales Coach. Hi, Greg. How are you doing today?
Hi there, Dawn and all. I'm well. Hope you're all well as well.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to talk to us about today. Let me introduce you first of all, Greg. So, Greg Donlan is a proven and dynamic speaker who leverages his background of sales, marketing, and management success at organizations such as Coles, Myer, Seiko, Ericsson, and Coca-Cola. That's a pretty impressive lineup, Greg. His approach is very practical, lots of ground level experience, war stories, and group involvement, in preference to a textbook or theoretical presentation. Importantly, Greg's message is current and effectively uses current technology to underpin proven sales methodology. He still sells and negotiates every day himself. And additionally, he often rides with the sales representatives of his clients, attending their sales calls with them and coaching in real time to enhance performance. This ensures his ideas are both current and relevant. So, Greg, we're ready to kick off. I'm looking forward to it. You've got some great grounding experience there and something really practical, I hope, to share with our viewers today. So, one of the questions that sort of popped up, if you like, and I know people are interested in this one, is how do businesses win work without always being the cheapest?
Interesting question, Dawn. I think it's moving or shifting the evaluation criteria and actually being in control somewhat of what the purchaser or the buyer makes their decisions on. Most buyers attempt to make their decisions based on logic, and certainly the professional buyers do that. So they're looking at price, they're looking at fit for purpose, they're looking at technical capability, they're looking at experience. They're all the logical things, and they're important. But if you simply run a system where you talk to a client, qualify them, and then deliver them a proposal via email or even face-to-face, and simply run a system of following up, you're actually not educating the client about your business, the service. You certainly talk about it, not educating them about it. So the key is to shift the evaluation criteria away from those logical areas, not away totally, but minimise those and bring in areas like the emotional decision triggers, which are people buy from organisations and people that they know, they like and they trust. So a sales process or an engagement process must cover those areas.
So what is an emotional trigger? Can you explain that to us?
Okay, people feel more comfortable to deal with organisations and people that they know. So if you simply talk to somebody or receive an email inquiry and fire back out a proposal or a quotation on the email after either seeing them once or chatting to them, they don't really feel as though they know you.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to shift that client from their existing supplier who they know they've dealt with for years, it's hard emotionally to make that shift. The logic might make sense, but it's hard to make that shift because they just feel comfortable.
Yeah.
That means you've got to, for a serious piece of work, you've got to meet them multiple times. People get to like you when they feel as though you're interested in them and not just in selling them something, but actually interested in their business, the success of it going forward. Therefore, the more they get to know you, the more comfortable they feel. Next one is trust. People will deal with organisations and people they trust. It's an emotional trigger. They can't explain it, but it just is a feeling they get in their tummy.
Yeah.
How do we invoke trust? Well, normally you invoke trust by doing what you've said you're going to do over an extended period of time. Challenge for a new sale is our existing clients, that's great. We've known them for a while, they know us and everybody's comfortable. But for a new client, you don't have that time frame to do it. So you've got to build trust quickly. How do you build trust quickly? Well, there is a technique, and that is that you do something that would appear as a salesperson or an organisation trying to sell to be against your better interests.
Okay.
So I always tell people to get a couple of other proposals or offers. They'd be silly if they didn't. Well, they're going to anyway because people need to compare before they make a decision.
Yeah.
So if you know they're always going to get one, invite them to do it. And people say, well, they're trustworthy. They're not frightened of position. So it's always good to go back and look at someone's sales process or journey of engagement to see if they've built into it deliberately opportunities to get the prospect to know them, to like them, and to trust them. The other triggers are the instinctive buying triggers. So things like and Robert Cialdini's written a fabulous book called The Science of Persuasion.
Yeah, I'm
Really
familiar with
recommend
it. Yes, it's a
You've
good
read
book.
that.
Yeah.
He talks about the 7 persuasion techniques, and he calls them weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So things like social proof. People don't like to take risks. So if there's enough other people doing it and there's evidence of that, then they feel more comfortable to do it. We walk past a restaurant, it's full. What do we think? Good food.
Must
We
be.
walk past the next one, it's empty. What do we think? Salmonella, here I come. We actually don't make a logical decision. Our instinct tells us that that's got to be okay. So do we have enough social proof? Do we have lists of our clients? Do we have connections with our existing customers or clients in the process? Do we have a little bit or something that shares that with them to keep the momentum rolling and demonstrate social proof? Comparisons. As human beings, we find it difficult to make a decision to go forward on anything unless we've got something comparable to line up against it. So if you don't build these deliberately into your process where your strengths are, guess what happens? They go back and they compare price. So you need to determine where you're different from your competitors and then focus in your process on highlighting and letting people experience those different comparisons. So for instance, if you've got a fabulous customer service team or manager, and you know that your competitor isn't one as strong, you always suggest before people sign up, they always like to come and meet the customer service manager or experience how the customer service department works. Gee, if you can get them to that stage, the liking and trust starts to come in as well that we talked about before, but then they're comparing staff that they're working with. It's a fabulous tool. Reciprocation. If we do something in advance for somebody, it's another instinctive trigger, people feel obligated to do things in return. So if you're delivering a proposal, you don't just say, I'll get you a quote. You say, listen, I'll go away and invest half a day for you and put some time into this.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you've built a little bit of obligation. And that helps sway. Again, it's an emotional trigger. It helps sway, or instinctive trigger, the decisions away just from price. Doesn't elude it, but moves it away just a little.
And you know what? We could keep talking to you forever, but your 5 minutes is up.
Oh, okay.
And I know that you've got so much to share with us. So we might have to put it to a second interview if you'd be up for that at some point in the future.
Yeah, love to.
And you know, everything you say makes so much sense when you say it, and you say it so clearly that, you know, it is no good just going in, giving a quote, dropping it on an email. And I know people still do that. You know, they get an inquiry, they send them back a proposal, and that's it. They expect to win the business, but they haven't done anything to create that relationship, build trust, or, you know, set up the scales, if you like, of reciprocity at all.
And if you want to be the lowest cost provider, that's a good system. But if you want to maintain your margin and win work on other things, the CEO, the sales leader, has to go back into the business and look at their sales process and consciously see if all those things have been built into it.
Yeah, what a great note to end on. Thank you very, very much, Greg Donlan from The Sales Coach.
Bye-bye.